Catholic Church in Connecticut is headed for a showdown in the state Supreme Court over when victims of priest sex abuse in the past can report the crime.
At the center of this case is the church's legal challenge to a state law that allows victims to report the crimes up to 30 years after their 18th birthday. Chief Political Correspondent Mark Davis has our story. Good evening, Mark.
Hi, Keith and Ann. Good evening, everyone from the Hartford newsroom. 3 women who say they were child victims of sex abuse by priests say that church resources should not be used in an attempt to overturn this law.
News 8 has learned that within the next 6 weeks, the state's highest court will hear the appeal of the first civil case ever tried against the Archdiocese of Hartford for damages due to sexual abuse by a priest. 2 years ago, in a civil case, a jury found the Archdiocese liable for negligence and recklessness and awarded over $1 million in damages to a 43-year-old man for being sexually abused as a child by the Reverend Ivan Ferguson, a priest in the Archdiocese who is now deceased. Several years ago, the General Assembly increased the statute of limitations for reporting child abuse in civil cases to 30 years. This judgment against the church was the first under that change.
I don't believe that any church officials should be fighting a law that protects children, and I don't believe that parishioners would agree to having their donations used in that way.
Barbara Blair says she was sexually abused by a priest in Archbishop Blair's former diocese in Ohio. She says Blair has the power to stop the appeal of the case, which is based on claiming that the change in the statute of limitations violates the Constitution. She is also the founder of SNAP, the Survivors Network of those abused by priests.
Archbishop Blair and the Catholic Church officials are trying to overturn that law, and that would put children at risk across the state of Connecticut.
If Archbishop Blair is listening to what the Pope is saying, I don't think that he would have initiated this lawsuit in the first place.
Now, a spokesperson for the church says, quote, the Archdiocese of Hartford has a long-standing policy not to comment on matters that are pending in court. We are told that this case is likely to come up before the state's highest court in the 2-week period between April 21st and May 2nd. Live from the Hartford newsroom, Mark Davis, News 8.